Yo, fam, top of the morning to you. Good day, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, according to where you be watching this at. I happen to put this on the church's page. I was trying not to. I was trying to do it on my Facebook. I'm about 15 minutes behind. Schedule always busy as normal. But it didn't seem to work. Didn't want to configure. So I'm putting it on the church's page and all these other pages as well as mine. But again, every other Thursday, this is Dr. Wright, aka the Doc. Uh, every other Thursday we do something as far as leadership development is concerned, or just your own development, if you will. And so today we want to take a few moments out of your time. And my time is always valuable, and I like giving my time to people that have a desire to learn. And so just want to take a little bit of your time that I share with you some leadership thoughts on healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. Now, healthy boundaries can be slightly conflicting at times because periodically we don't put up boundaries. And that's been one of my weaknesses for 30 some years. I don't really have healthy boundaries. I've learned how to say yes and how to say no. You know, no is the hardest thing to say, but at times it is the greatest thing to say. And so, again, I've learned over the years on how to say no and how to give. I'm sorry, I'm typing something in here real quick just to say good morning to those who might be coming on. How to establish, hey, applesauce, healthy boundaries. So healthy boundaries are needed as far as ministry, life, church, neighbors, children, family, healthy boundaries. But I want to talk about healthy boundaries from a leadership perspective and a mentoring mentee thought process, because from this, ahead of my notes, if I'm mentoring you, fathering you, teaching you, then I need you to teach somebody else. I think as I go into this, I'm going way ahead of my notes. One of the problems, one of the issues that I've faced for 30 some years of pastoring is that I've been shepherding and I'm a rancher. Shepherding means we teach, we define, we do everything. We do the books, we do the praise and worship, we do the teaching, the leadership. We have our hands in everything. That's what shepherds do. And my problem with that is I've always been a rancher, meaning I'm always trying to go out, trying to teach out, trying to give out, trying to buy property, trying to grow businesses, trying to establish communities, trying to establish groups. That's what a rancher does. So my church is going to probably be full of surprises here coming shortly, and most of them will not listen to this because they don't follow us social media wise. Anyway, there's a lot of things in order for you to grow. You have to change your mentality and reestablish some boundaries. Now, understanding there's a guy by the name of Henry Cloud, and he wrote a book, a very good book, by the way. It says the book is called Boundaries: When to Say Yes, How to Say No, and to Take Control of Your Life. When to say yes, how to say no, and how to take control of your life. There's like certain instances. I'm gonna deal with boundaries on this. So most of my people know that Saturday night is church night. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think I've told you the story that one time my birthday was on a Saturday and I was going to church. And my wife told me that I was not going to church that night, that she was taking me somewhere. Now, if you'd have been in my house, it was a rough place to be at that particular time because I'm going to church, right? This is what I do. This is how I function. I'm happy with that. Well, lo and behold, they blindfolded me. You know the story. The whole church was there giving me a surprise birthday party. It is the first and the best surprise birthday party I've ever had in my life, right? But I still had those boundaries. So there are people in my family that ask me, well, can you come here on Saturday? Can you do this on Saturday? No, I've already set that boundary, right? I'm not doing this on Saturday. Saturday is God's night, and that's just as simple as that. Tuesday is His night. So we have different variations of boundaries that we have to set, and we can use boundaries in every area and every aspect of our life. So as he said in his book, When to Say Yes, How to Say No, to Take Control of Your Life. So boundaries actually define us. They define what is me and what is not me. Boundaries define or show me where I am or where I need to end or where somebody else begins. So boundaries allows me to know that I can go this far. Now you need to come up, right? Or I expect you to be here when I get here. So basically boundaries literally give me a sense of ownership and knowing what to do, how to do, and what I need to do to get things done. So we have to be mindful of boundaries. So there's some life examples in dealing with boundaries. And then from a mentoring mentee's point of view, I'm going to share with you some other things on boundaries. And excuse me if I might be talking too fast, just type in there somewhere and say, Doc, can you slow down? And then you can replay it. So one of the catches is, again, when you go into an example, or you go to a situation, or you go to a business, or even if you establish a mentoring relationship, you have to define your role and what's expected of you. Define your role and what's expected of you. Now, again, I say there's times that I go above and beyond. That's just my character. That's my heart. That's what I do. But I still have to define my role, right? So my role as a shepherd slash rancher, or as a shepherd slash teacher, my role, right? Good morning, Pamela. My role is to teach, to build up, to edify, to equip, to encourage, to project. The people's role should be not just to adhere to what's being taught, but also facilitate what's being taught in their lives, right? So these are the boundaries. So we have to set guidelines. And one of the other catches is the worst thing to do as a leader, and the worst thing to do as a mentor, mentee, is to lead by assumptions, right? Assumptions. Y'all know me, in that first three letters in assumption mess you up. We can't lead by assumptions. I can't expect you. Several years ago, really several years ago, I think it was like the third year of the church, I'd put somebody over the deacons to train the deacons like I had trained them. Well, what happened was we had a new brother come in. He was being trained as a deacon, and he made three big mistakes. I mean, huge mistakes during ministry, only because I'm sensitive when I'm ministering. And so the funny part was, everybody looked and they said, oh man, he's going to get him. He's going to get him. No, I politely pulled him, as well as the chairman of the deacon board at that time, into the office. And I said, look, I can't fuss at you because I didn't train you. I can't fuss at you because somebody else was obligated to teach you right. What I can do is now take you up under my wing and show you what's expected of you. And this individual who did not train you right, I will retrain them so they'll know what's expected of them. See, so I couldn't fuss, I couldn't correct, and I couldn't lead by assumptions. I had to understand what he knew and why he knew. And then once I taught him what he should have known, then I wasn't leading no more by assumptions. I knew that he knew what he should do. So one of the boundaries, or several of the boundaries, is you have to define your role, what's expected of you as the mentor, mentee. You have to get some guidelines, right? And you don't lead by assumptions. So in other words, when I go into other churches and they say, we want you to teach leadership. Well, my first question is, what do you want me to teach? How long do I have to teach? What is the purpose of what I'm teaching? And what do you expect after I finish this course, right? And so then once I know that, I know what I need to do. But see, then I also, you'll hear this later in my notes, I also hit them with something. Now I expect something from the students, right? I expect them to be attentive. I expect them to follow through. And I expect to see some changes. I'm not just coming here just to come here. There has to be some changes. So guidelines and boundaries literally describe the expectations that both parties agree with. So we have to agree with them. And without boundaries, it'll kind of be like whiplash and frustration, right? Because if you're still giving and nobody is not double, you'll get that later. If there's nothing coming from it, right? If you just always feed, you get frustrated, you get whiplash. Or if you're expecting someone to do something and they never do it, but yet you set this boundary, you get frustrated, you get upset. So from a mentoring point of view, at this state, after 30, 40 some years in ministry, it's amazing that sometimes for people want to be mentored. Well, here's the funny thing about mentoring. I still have to set boundaries as a mentor. You have to set boundaries as a mentor. I always tell my members, there's just no way that you sat up under our ministry for 12 months and you can't mentor anybody. There's actually no way you can sit up under our ministry for 6 months and you can't mentor anybody. You don't because you don't want to, but it's not that you don't have the capabilities or the qualifications to, which becomes a whole nother mentoring, mentor, expected, boundary, possibility, potential, frustration, whiplash. All these things come to play. So we need to create some boundaries when we become someone's mentor. Those of you that are on here, those of you that are listening, eventually you will become, in some state, form, or fact, someone's mentor. My apologies. these people on WhatsApp keep calling me like I want to join their group. If it ain't one thing, it's another, right? Everybody always wants something at the wrong time. Um, so Instagram probably won't play no more. That's a whole nother subject. Always a distraction. There's always a distraction. And every time there's a distraction, there's something moving. Trust me when I say something's moving. It is. So in mentoring, or as you mentor people, whether it's on your job, whether it's on your business, heck, whether it's even in your neighborhood, right? We have to still set some boundaries. So one of the things is what we should expect from each other, right? That's one of the boundaries, what we should expect from each other. Basically, there should be an ROI on our relationship. ROI. There should be a return on investment. There should be an agreement, right? When I mentor, when I teach, I expect to see a return on what I do, not financially. I expect to see some changes in your life. I expect to see some growth in your life. I expect to see you do what I'm sharing with you to do so you can become better at what you're at. It makes no sense for me to mentor you. You still want to do it your way. It makes no sense for you to be mentored and you still have your opinion. When I sat up under my mentors, I didn't have opinions. When I sat up under my mentors, I didn't want to do it my way, right? And the reason is because obviously they've been there. So what do I know if they've been there before me, right? So most of my mentors had me by anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 years. So what do I know? If you're 30 years before me, what do I know? My opinion means nothing because you've already been where I'm trying to get to. And the reason I'm sitting here is so you can show me how not to make those mistakes, right? So I need to give you a return on your investment in my life. I need to show you, I need to prove to you, I need to let you realize that I took heed to what you said and I'm growing from it, right? So as a mentor, you need to have a return on your investment. Now, mentor relationships do not work if they're not balanced. They got to be balanced. So the input needs to be equal from the mentor and the mentee. Look, basically, as your mentor and you're my mentee, we should make each other better. I think the greatest from the greatest things that I've watched, or one of the greatest things that I can acknowledge or that I love to see, is when someone who I've mentored or someone who I've pastored grow into the things that I've taught them, and I watch them just abound to just great works or exploits. I can't even think of the verbiage, right? Just to see what you taught somebody and to see them use it to grow. So it's kind of like the leader's greatest return is to see people that he's mentored or she's mentored, or see people that they pastored or shepherded, and watch them grow and do great things, and mentor and shepherd or mentor and encourage the same to other people. So now it's expansive, right? So we have to make each other better. It's not just about me making you better. I'm saying me. It's not just about me making you better as a mentor. You need to be making me better too, right? So we build up one another. It's not one sided, and there's a return on investment, if you will. And so we're actually helping to build up one another, and our relationship is balanced. Now, here's something as the mentor that I expect from my mentee, right? First of all, you must come ready, right? You have to get your act together before you get together. So if you say, okay, Doc or Apostle or Dad, can I have a meeting with you? Well, when you have the meeting, you got to be ready, right? You just can't come just to get together. You got to get your act together before we get together. You got to know all the questions that you want to ask me when you come to ask me, right? Don't just say talk. Well, I can just run my mouth all day long. That ain't helping. That ain't helping the pot of peas with ham hock in it. I need to know what you want to know, because it makes no sense for me just to talk and it's not something that you need to know. So you have to be ready. You have to get your act together before we get together. You have to have your agenda, your questions the day before. Now, number two, you have to be on time. Don't nobody fuss at me. You have to be on time. You have to be on time. You have to meet the mentor where they are, right? Now, one of the things that is very pivotal that I need you to understand as you begin mentoring and as you listen to me as your mentor, one of the things that's pivotal is the fact that you have to earn the mentor's time. Now, people don't really understand that. And I say certain things in ministry that people don't understand. I don't just give you time just to give you time, because I don't have that kind of time. And most people know my time is valuable. But What you have to understand is if I'm your mentor and you're the mentee, you have to earn time. You have to earn it. Because again, mentoring is a choice, it's not an obligation. I'm not obligated to mentor you. Not obligated. So you have to earn this time because everybody might say, well, look, can you teach me this? Can you do this? Right? But they don't really want it. So I just wasted time. Right? Let's throw the church in real quick. There's everybody in the church don't want to spend time with the pastor. Everybody in the church don't want to learn from the pastor. There are some people in the church that just want to still do it their way. They just want to come because it's traditional. This is what we need to do. And we want to serve God, want to get to the heaven and do this thing. They don't really want what's inside, right? But the ones that want what's inside, they come and they ask, they request. They get prepared because they have a desire to spend time. And they'll make sure that they earn that time. And you don't just get that time because you got a position, right? So that's how mentoring is. Mentoring is a choice, right? I could do the juju jaja to you all day long, but if you really want to dance, then you want to be mentored. You have to earn the mentor's attention. Now I'm sharing this with those who I believe can be mentors, and our mentors are going to be mentors. And these are the boundaries. Again, we're talking about boundaries, and these are not just not boundaries for a mentor and mentee. I believe these are boundaries in everyday life, right? When I was a supervisor, when I just worked a regular job, which was very seldom because I always asked myself, got myself moved up. But there was people around me that want to know how you do this, how you do that. Well, just for you to know is not good enough. You got to tell me that you really want to know. Because other than that, I got another lunch appointment. I got some other things I need to take care of. That's just the way we do. And this, I'm about out of here, so you guys can go. So look, here's the greatest thing. Boundaries. We're still talking about boundaries. Whoever you're mentoring and whoever I'm mentoring, as the mentee, they have to be improving. You have to be improving. My wife and I was riding last night. I just decided to take this late night ride, and for some dumb reason, I wanted some carrot cake from Publix. I know, I shouldn't have did it, but I did. I didn't eat the whole cake last night, though. I mean, it's only a slice of cake, so I ate half of the slice. I know, I shouldn't have done it. But the funny part is when we came back home, we came back by the library. I was telling us we go by the library. I missed book club because I used to have a book club, right? I missed the book club. Now, the reason I quit doing the book club because nobody showed interest. They were waiting for me, the mentor, to show interest. Well, I read anyway. Reading is what I do. You know, I still do 2 or 3 books a month. Reading is what I do, but I miss the getting together. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the conversations. But even in that, you have to be improving. There's no way we can be in a book club for 2 years and nobody's improving. Nobody's teaching others. Nobody's motivating others. Nobody's encouraging others. The mentor is doing all the work. That's not a good rate of return on investment. If you're part, then you need to be teaching others. If we read this book, you need to teach that book. If we read that book, you need to teach that book. And then the book club grows. So you have to be improving. You have to show the mentor, show me that you're learning. Show me that you're improving and not just learning. Because we can learn on our own, but at least show me that you're improving. Now, how do you do that? By accomplishing something. And that's what shows me that you're serious. You got to accomplish something. Show me that you appreciate what's been sold into you. And you want people to show you that you appreciate the time you spent with them. How? By accomplishing something, by sharing it with other people. Look, boundaries. And you say, well, what does this have to do with boundaries? A lot. It has a lot to do with boundaries. I've learned as I've gotten older, these are boundaries that I have to set. Only because I got so much to give, right? So we have to set these boundaries. We have to, and when I set up with people who mentor me, I have to go through the same process, right? Hey, Missy, how you doing? I have to set these boundaries. When people are mentoring me and I'm not doing the mentoring, well, what happens then is I have to make sure I'm on time. I have to make sure I'm ready, prepared before I get there. I have to get myself together before we get together, right? I got all my questions. I need to know this, and this. Now, while I'm there and they're mentoring me, I'm writing down stuff. Remember, when you listen to something 7 times, it becomes a part of your mechanism. It becomes a part of your consciousness. It comes from subconscious to conscious. It becomes a part of the way you act. When you write down something, the notes you take, you regain 68%. When you just listen to people talk, you might gain 25%, right? So I'm with my mentor and I'm writing stuff down. After he or she teaches me, I then go and I apply it. Why? Because I need them to see a return on their investment. They've invested in me. I now need to go and invest in others. 90%, 65% of what I give is what's been mentored and been pushed into me, right? When I study under certain mentors. I get my knowledge from certain mentors. I don't listen to everybody. There's certain mentors that teach me the word. They teach me leadership. They teach me business development, right? And so I receive from them and I give them a return on investment by showing them that I enjoyed what they did and I'm now accomplishing for others what they've accomplished in me. Now, from another standpoint, if you're the mentor and you're teaching and mentoring people, you need to be a safe person to talk to. Don't be a busybody. You gotta be a safe person to talk to. Trust me now. And it has nothing to do with me being clergy, because I know some clergy that tell everything, right? But you have to be a safe person to talk to. They have to be able to trust you with their life, with their secrets, right? Right? You have to be trustworthy. As a mentor, you need to be trustworthy because people come to you with all kind of stuff, and you need to be able to adhere to it or take it. You need to be available. You need to be available. See, and that's, again, for me, that's a strength and a weakness, right? Because everybody has my cell phone. Everybody has access to me. This little incident you just seen on WhatsApp, this is somebody trying to get me to join a biotech stuff. And I'm like, please, I told you yesterday I don't want to be involved. But my numbers, I just have one phone number. I don't have 5 phones. I have one phone number, right? I probably need another one, but I ain't got time for that. I got one phone number. Everybody has access to me because you need to be available if you're a good mentor, right? You need to be available to the ones that you're mentoring, right? You need to give your best all the time. All the time, you need to give people your best. All the time, as a mentor, you need to give your best. And by the way, as a mentee, someone who's coming in to be taught, to be mentored, to be built up or strengthened, you need to also give 100% of your time, right? There's one thing I hate. I'm gonna say this to you. There's one thing I hate. I hate when people tell me they want to get to know me, right? And we set up a phone conversation, right? Or somebody tell me they want me to mentor me, they want me to mentor them, and we set up a phone conversation. And then you're doing everything else. I hear everything else on the phone. I hear everything else in the background. Now, when I give people times to call or times that I'm going to talk to them, my TV is off. Everything around me is off. My wife knows that I'm finna have a conversation. Matter of fact, I normally put my phone on no notifications. You have all of my time. Just another pastor a couple of weeks ago said, man, for some reason the Lord wants me to get to know you. I said, okay, fine. He said, when can we talk? I said, well, amen, Missy. That's right. Keep that rock rolling. I said, well, look, let's talk 10:30 tomorrow. So 10:30 on that particular Tuesday, I shut everything off. Now Tuesdays, I teach Tuesday night. I shut everything off, right? He had my time. So I'm talking to him. Now, 12 minutes into the conversation, I hear him talking to other people while he's talking to me. Right now, you're not gonna get a return phone call. That's just not gonna happen. So that's strike one. I tried to deal with that strike one. So then 7 minutes later, I hear the car door open. I said, well, he ain't even paying me no attention. He wants my opinion on something, but he's not paying any attention. And then I hear all this chatter. I said, man, look, are you on lunch or something? Yeah, Doc, I have to call you back. I said, man, don't even worry about it. You have a great day. Now, trust me when I say I'm not calling him back, right? Because I gave him the best of my time, but he didn't give me the best of his time. So guess what? It's hot. There's no return on investment. We can't keep going with that. Now, again, as I get ready to let you guys go, thank you all for being on. I can see Pamela. I can see Applesauce. Missy, great to see you on there on Instagram. Look, I appreciate all y'all if y'all share this. I just want to talk about boundaries from a mentoring and mentee's point of view. And so let's always look out for one another's. Look out for one another's. Look out for one another's best interests. Right? So I think I'm gonna leave you with that. I'll leave you with that. Now, if I mentor you, I'm gonna give you 4 points. If I mentor you, this is what I expect. The fact that it's not about you, it's about the big picture, right? It's about a mission, it's about a vision. I'm mentoring you to do greater things. I'm mentoring you to mentor others. That's the purpose. And I expect you to grow because time is everything, right? So I expect you to grow and understand that I value you. And because I value you, I need you to value others. And just be responsible. Be responsible and take ownership. Be responsible, take ownership. So look, as always, I pray the Lord bless you. I see you guys not next week, but the week after. Stay blessed, be safe. Healthy boundaries. This is the Doc, and I'm out. Peace.